Now we have a fireside chat on driving personalized communication at scale. Personalization isn't just a nice little extra for customers. It has become a differentiating factor and a driving force when it comes to growing loyalty, revenue, and conversions. What do our experts have to say? Let's hear from them. I would like to welcome Pankaj Parihar, Vice President and Head, Digital Marketing and Transformation, DCPL, and Rajesh Pantina, Director Marketing Asia Pacific in Mobi for the discussion. Over to you, gentlemen.
Welcome to this fireside chat on driving personalized communications at scale. And to deep dive on this topic, I'm joined by Pankaj Singh Parihar, who is the VP and Head of Digital and Transformation at Godrej Consumer Products and the Godrej Group. Pankaj has the Digital Center of Excellence and Digital Transformation at GCPL and Godrej Group and has been in the marketing communications field for over 16 years, with 12 years just in digital. He's a multi-award winner, true blue digital native, and has been recognized multiple times for the work done in digital fields. Hello, Pankaj. Great to have you.
Hi Rajesh. Hi everyone. Thank you very much for having me over. Looking forward to this conversation, especially in the space of personalization at scale and in the space of digital transformation. So yes.
Awesome. Now, as you talk about personalization at scale, I think the first step towards that definitely is the idea of digital that is there in your designation. But digital and transformation, they have been actually, talked a lot about in the past 1 year, 1.5 years. But I know that Godrej Consumer Products has had a story which is in the making for a long time now. So, wanted to just understand from you overall, what are the key pillars for your digital and transformation story at GCPL?
Right, Rajesh. Rajesh, rightly mentioned by you, actually our digital transformation journey started not because of the pandemic, but we started our journey almost 5 6 years back in this space. Yeah. And every year we saw that there is something new which we wanted to add because our consumers are asking us or telling us or giving us indication that this is the way we are moving. So let me start with the journey which we started in 2016, which was on e-commerce, and we started building the capabilities in e-commerce, both in the category management point of view and in the marketing space. Then in 17, we moved to the most exciting phase of digital transformation, which was owning data and making use of data, smarter use of data. So that's when we started investing behind data and data technologies in back then in 2017. We started having our own in-house data management platform, and those days it used to be data management platform. Now we can safely say that it has evolved to a consumer data platform. So that was 2017, and the journey continues. We have evolved a lot in that space. 2018, we invested a lot behind content, and content is not just one part of it, not just in English. We have been investing in content in a major way, and we have developed or made our own in-house content studio. So we have a physical space. We can do shoots, we can do video editing, we can do audio, we can do everything all in-house. That's another piece which we invested in a big way. Come 2019 is when we started investing heavily in digital commerce, which is having our own digital engine. And in 2019, much before the pandemic hit us, we launched our direct to consumer channels, and successful 4 or 5 channels as of now we are doing. And of course, all in all last 5 years, we have been investing a lot behind marketing automation, social listening, all of these pieces. At the end of the day, I want to ensure that I'm reaching out to consumer in the space she is into, in the mind frame that she is wanting to hear and listen the stories, and in the language which she is comfortable in. So that's the whole idea of our overall journey in this last 4 5 years.
Awesome. And great to hear you mentioning a lot about the idea of personalization being very specific. You qualified a lot of pieces over there, and we'll come to how you basically built that entire personalization game. But in upping that game, right, a couple of weeks ago, we saw that you guys talked about starting with the home insecticide category for this entire personalization pilot using personalized video. Now, why and how did you start around with home insecticide versus anything else? Was very curious to know about that.
So Rajesh, home insecticide category is one of the biggest categories for us, okay, from the business point of view. Also, if you look at it, because of pandemic, people's mind shift happened towards, COVID and Corona. But that doesn't mean that, other vector-borne diseases like dengue, malaria, chikungunya, these, and whether cockroach related diseases, whether diarrhea, and all those things were not there. And on top of it, home insecticide category is a low involvement category. So you need to be on top of mind. Yeah. And considering that COVID and Corona were absolutely on top of mind of every consumer, we needed to be relevant. We needed to have that higher brand recall. Hence, we realized that it needs to have a different approach. It needs to have a different strategy. And we also realized with various understanding and readings which we were doing online and other research reports that our consumer, which is primarily a mom, uh, her media consumption habits were also evolving last 18 to 20 months. Their consumption on OTT platforms, their consumption on casual gaming, their consumption on uh, audios, and all those things were increasing multifold. Hence, we thought that this is the right approach. This is, and we really wanted to be, on top of mind, especially in the times when, no one was bothered about anything but COVID. Hence, it was important for us to invest behind our most important category in so that we are just communicating with consumers.
So for this personalization, definitely, like you qualified it, had to be really big. Now,
Right.
what would you say were the key pillars for your personalization at scale campaign with the home insecticide category?
So first thing first, Rajesh, we were reaching out to a mom who's bothered and concerned about the safety of their family, not just about the kid. Okay, and what we have realized also, while there is a decent amount of influence and purchase happen by the male audiences, but majority of it in house insecticide category is being done by the women folk from the house, and which is where we thought that we really need to go big. We needed to reach out to a large segment of this audience, and hence personalization at scale was critical. How did we go about it? And on top of it, we wanted to reach out to the audience in the language which she is comfortable and wanting to consume, not just a broad spectrum or broad brush of communication. We wanted to be more personalized. We wanted to have more customized approach to it. So we said that for all our audiences, whether she is from Andhra Pradesh or from Tamil Nadu or from West Bengal or from Gujarat or Maharashtra or from Punjab, we will have our communication in that language where she is comfortable in consuming. So that was one part of it. We said that our video communication strategy would be very, very local, very, very vernacular. The other piece was very important piece. Like I mentioned, that we have been investing a lot behind data management platform and customer data platform. We have a large pool of first party data. So we had a lot of insighting done on our audiences who are with us on first party data on our platform. And then we work with our partners in terms of third party data. We married it. We figured out that these are the key cohorts which are critical in terms of landing the communication at the right context. So the smart usage of data was the second big piece. Now, the third piece is because we needed to do personalization at scale. We said we will be doing this in a real-time basis, more local, more vernacular. And we said that, programmatic is, while the world is talking about programmatic for years and years, and we have invested behind programmatic few years back, 100% approach. But, this made a complete package for us. Hyper personalization, vernacular video communication, usage of first party in congregation of third party database, and then making it real time through programmatic. That whole, wheel of, data, programmatic and vernacular and hyper personalization really helped us come out with a really thought through approach. It was more targeted, but at the same time, it had scale. That was the most important thing.
No, awesome. And because you mentioned a lot about vernacular, I mean, one obvious question that comes to mind is the fact that that's something that's been happening for a long time in TV, right? We always know that Andhra is
Absolutely.
one of the biggest,
Yeah.
pilot markets
Pilot
for
market,
CPG and
whether it
higher.
is Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu, Chennai. Chennai is the other one,
Yes.
which is a huge pilot market.
Right, and so you do this on TV, and people might be just saying, okay, I mean, vernacular as a concept is known, it's been there since ages, but on digital, how do things change? What's like the distance you had to cover to actually enable true personalization at scale with this campaign?
So first thing first, while not any more right now, when you talk about digital communication, one would assume that digital communication should be either in English or Hindi max. Not anymore. That used to be the case at least a year or a couple of years back. People have moved to the thinking of vernacular. But at the same time, you just don't need, I mean, you can't just translate your communication. Yeah. You need to have specific communication designed and managed for specific regions. So like if I'm using a word kudi in Punjabi communication, I cannot use that word or the image or the video where a Punjabi girl is being shown in a Tamil creative. And just imagine a Punjabi kudi with a gut in hairstyle in a Tamil Nadu or Chennai based creative. It'll look so awful. So hence it was very, very important for us to have really thought through approach in our communication. So I'll give you the scale of communication which we really had to do. We within household insecticide category we have 7 brands or sub brands, okay, and all of them are really, really large in their own right. We ensured that for every brand we had 3 different kinds of communication, and those communication were defined, video communication were defined basis the funnel that a particular audience is going to be. So if the funnel is in, if the consumer is in top of the funnel, my communication is different. If, and in that particular language. So just, just understand the scale of it. You have 7 brands, you have 3 different funnels, you have 3 different kinds of video communication, and on top of it we had 5 languages. Okay, so that is the permutation and combination which we went about doing. 7 brands, 3 funnels, 3 different communication per brand, and 5 languages. So all of it was done to ensure that our personalization is not remaining to a very narrower audience, but it's reaching out to a really, really mass audience, and hence we're calling it personalization at scale. The second part was, of course, marrying the data. So, using programmatic ad IDs, ad divide IDs, creating cohorts basis our own understanding of our first party data, marrying it with, our partner data, and then also ensuring that the right frequency is managed across the funnel. So if I am doing consideration or purchase intent kind of a communication, my frequency would be a little higher than an awareness funnel. So all those things for that. If you look at it from the scale point of view, we delivered close to 90 to 100 million video views. Okay. And On top of it, more than 50 to 60% were 100% video views. So people who are from this industry, they would understand that this scale and completed views of 50 to 60% is a massive number to deliver. We could only deliver it because it was more personalized, because it was more in the context the audience was actually consuming the content or the communication was in. Overall, if you look at it, people watched 380,000 hours of our communication, 380,000 of our hours of our communication. I mean, while I could have just said that 100 million people watched my video, versus look at the number of hours people watched our communication, which is equivalent to close to 200,000 movies. Yeah, just imagine that is the kind of scale we were able to deliver on this campaign, and the results are to be spoken about. But yeah, this is what the deliveries were. We were not chasing vanity metrics here.
Amazing. And as you were mentioning a bunch of those sub brands and all those PNCs over there, I was actually thinking about, wow, 300 unique video assets. And I really envy that campaign manager genuinely, because he must have had so much learning. He or she must have had so much learning, so much, fun actually delivering all these campaigns. And those results show, if like you're actually delivering 200K worth of, feature films out there. Wow, that's a huge number of people really engaging with the
Yeah.
right kind of personalized video communications. That really comes to show. No, but thanks a lot for calling that out as well, because again, I think mobile being a percentage of digital today in terms of ad spends, that really helps qualify for a lot of people as well as to why mobile and how mobile can play a huge role in your overall digital personalization and transformation plans. um, but I think one critical question, right, everybody would probably be wanting to ask is, we understand the number of completed views, we understand the number of hours people have engaged, we also understand that you were able to do different communications. What was the net result? I think that's probably one question that everybody would ask. And there again, both in brand and business, because you said your brand recall is probably almost tied to business results. So how did you basically go about measuring and looking at was it driving good results or not?
I'm glad you're asking this, because it's extremely critical for a brand owner, a business owner, and a marketer like me, that if I'm doing something, it needs to add immense value to the brand, okay, or the business challenge. And we are very clear that we will do experimentation, but at the end of the day, if the experimentation is adding value to the brand and the business, we will scale it up. If it is not adding, then we may not consider, because we are not running after vanity metrics, okay. um, yeah, which is why I did not speak about anything on a number of views and all those things. But let me talk about, engagement is also a critical metric in terms of brand health. So we have seen close to 1.46x of completed views as compared to what we had seen in earlier campaigns. um, Higher engagement to the tune of 2.45x. Like, these are big numbers as compared to whatever we have seen in GCPL history or overall industry. We are talking about 150% growth on completed views. We are talking about 250, close to 250% of higher engagement. So that is on the brand health. Let me talk about on the business impact, and also one more critical parameter on brand health. We mounted a study on this campaign, okay, and we have seen 22% ad recall on a couple of our brands, okay. And if you talk about, if I'm getting brand recall, if I'm getting higher engagement, if I am my communication watched more as compared to my earlier or industry standard. I can clearly tell you that this whole approach is working for me from the brand health parameter.
Awesome. And yeah, so on that front, just one last question for you, right? Like, given the success of this in HI and specifically, personalized video communications at scale, how it's really turned out for you, what are maybe two or three things that you plan to do as next steps to kind of go ahead and like scale this internally at GCPL?
So, like I said, that we did this large scale experimentation on one of our key categories, household insecticide. We have multiple categories which we play into. Uh, we will ensure that this is clearly being replicated, or other categories are learning, or there is cross learning between categories in terms of how we can leverage all the learnings from this experimentation. We'll try and implement that across all our brands. The other piece is that we will ensure that personalization at scale continues to be the key theme in most of our communication. Okay. Double clicking on that, my video communication is going to be more local, more personalized, more vernacular, as it is already. It's not that it's not, but we will invest more efforts behind ensuring that I am talking to a consumer who's sitting in Bangalore in the language which she is comfortable in. I will not force down upon what I think is right for the consumer. I will pick up things from consumers and ensure that my communication is made in that way. Continue to invest behind mobile as a, like I had mentioned earlier also, if you do not have thought through mobile first approach, you are definitely missing a big cog in your overall marketing communication. So that is another piece, and we continue to invest behind data in a big way.
For people who are trying to, understand what are the key takeaways, I know Pankaj has already summarized it well, but just calling out four big things that he's pointed out: video, data, hyper personalization using all the signals that's available in real time, and of course, vernacular, right? So these four are the secret sauce for Pankaj's personalized video communications at scale.
Yep.
Thanks a lot for joining.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thanks for taking the time out, and thank you, everyone. Have a great evening and great day ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen, for a riveting session. Ladies and gentlemen, show your presence and engagement on social media by tagging us in all your tweets using the hashtag ETBWS. Stay tuned for the keynote address.